Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Mountain View, a jizza a day for perspective, problem solving, and a proactive way. All right, Bismillah. We just finished the 23rd night of Ramadan, and we are moving into the 24th night. One of the metaphors that we've been using here at the center, and I talked about it here, I'm pretty sure, is this idea of Ramadan is like life. And so you have the beginning is like youth, and then your young adult age and your middle ages, and now we are in our elder ages. So if you've been working hard this Ramadan, you're probably pretty tired right now. You are probably exhausted. You're fasting every day and praying at night. You're probably really feeling quite tired. Just like when you're older, you feel tired, it's harder to do things, but you still do them. And so that's what we're doing now in our last 10 days, inshallah. We are working hard to pull our strength together and finish Ramadan as strong as we can. Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's finish strong, and let's go now into the juz'at that we're looking at, which is juz'at number 23, and that begins with Surah Yasin. Surah Yasin is the end of Surah Yasin. There's a very beautiful verse in Surah Yasin. Well, of course, all of them are, but the verse that I'll mention here is verse 58, where we're hearing this Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. It's actually something you can say as like a dua or like a dhikr. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. We all hope to hear this word, salam, which is a qawl, a saying from your Lord, the most merciful. Ya Allah, nizil alayna salam. Ya Allah, we ask of you for salam of the heart, salam of our ummah, salam when we meet you, salam when we enter Jannah, salam, 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 salam. Ameen. All right, but let's go to Surah Al-Safat. I thought we would talk some more about Surah Al-Safat today. It's an interesting surah that really brings a perspective of the life of the da'iyah, the one who is struggling to see that belief is on the earth. And maybe you say to yourself, well, that's not me. I'm just a regular person. I just go to work and come home. Well, if you represent yourself as a Muslim, you can't help but be a da'iyah in one way or another, because you are setting yourself up to be a person of belief. And in that, people are paying attention. So let's look at the surah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It starts with وَالصَّافَاتِ صَفًّا وَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا. It's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by something. It's a divine oath. It's a divine oath, and it is, in this case, looking at the translation, those ranged in ranks. And most of the mufassirin say these are angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by. And subhanAllah. And the reciters of a reminder. And then, so when Allah is swearing by these three things, He says then in verse 4, Inna ilahukum lawahid. Indeed, your Lord is one. Rabbu samawati wal ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is Allah. Now, as we move through this surah, we are seeing the nature and the state of the human being. Because it starts, well, it doesn't start, but down there in number 12 and number 13, we hear what you hear everywhere when you are in secularism. SubhanAllah, secularism, we call it secularism, but it's been around for a long time. It just hasn't been quite so popular. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse 12, but it seems that I have jumped forward too far. There we are. Let's do 12, yes. Or should we do 11? Let's do 11. فَاسْتَفْتِهِمْ أَهُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا إِنَّ خَلَقْنَاهُمْ مِنْ طِينٍ لَازِبٍ. Ask them, what's more difficult to create? Are they more difficult to create, or those who we created truly recreated them from this viscous clay? So what we've been created from. And then, بَلْ عَجِبْتَ وَيَسْخَرُونَ. This is the place I wanted to get to. Indeed, but thou dost marvel while they scoff. I think it is a painful place to be when you want to marvel at Allah's creation, Allah's beauty, at Allah's life Allah's given you. You want to marvel at the beauty that Allah has given you. You're in a place of gratefulness. And maybe you say it, and maybe you have people in your life that are not really supportive of that, so they scoff at you, or they find a way to find fault in what you're saying, or find a way to make it not fun to say that. So then next time you think, oh, maybe I don't want to say, wow, mashallah, look at this amazing way that Allah has created this. So you're quiet. We have to be the strong ones. We don't want to be the ones silenced. We don't want to be the ones silenced by other people's sarcasm, يسخرون, belittlement. When we are remembering Allah, we should feel strength in that and be certain of it. Not be silenced because people around us are making fun or acting like they're the strong ones. And in this day and age, that's what it is. In secular society, you are made to feel like, oh, as a religious person, I should be quiet because people don't want to talk about that. ذُكِّرُوا لَا يَذْكُرُونَ. That's the next verse. They are reminded, but they do not remember. So you tell somebody that you care about Allah, about something, about Ramadan, you remind them, and they still, doesn't matter. They don't remember. This is painful. It's a painful place to be. Subhanallah. And the introduction of this surah starts with this picture, and then it goes through prophet after prophet after prophet who dealt with just that thing. People making fun of them, scoffing at them for their reminders of the truth of God's existence. Ay wallah. So, and when in all throughout the verse, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going, I'm just gonna fix something here. Okay. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about these, so let's go to verse 36. Starts with our beloved Prophet himself and the words that they called him and the names that they called him. They said, 36 I said, where is it? Yeah, so in 36 they say, وَيَقُولُونَ أَإِنَّ لَتَارِكُ آلِهَتِنَا لِشَاعِرٍ مَجْنُونَ. Are we going to leave our gods because of a crazed poet? And this was very hurtful to the Prophet ﷺ to say these things. And then Allah says, بَلْ جَاءَ بِالْحَقِّ وَصَدَّقَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. Rather, indeed, I keep losing my place. Nay, he has come with the truth. He has come with the truth and confirmed the messengers. And then Allah talks about the punishment of those who mock the believers. And then always at the end of that punishment, he says, إِلَّا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. So if you are reading Quran and you're like, oh, this punishment, man, God help me. Then you see that verse, إِلَّا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. That's hope. You're like, Ya Rabbi, make me of your sincere servants. Fi jannatin na'im, in Jannah. And then description of Jannah. So then we go forward. And we see then we have Noah. وَلَقَدْ نَادَانَا نُوحٌ فَلِنِعْمَ الْمُجِيبُونَ. and called upon Noah and his difficulty with his people. And then Ibrahim and how he struggled in calling people. And you read this verse, you start, and then we have more about Ibrahim, and then we have Ishaq. We have the story between him and Ishaq, where Ibrahim himself is told to sacrifice his own son. Now, of course, that doesn't happen. But it makes me always wonder and think about, what are the attachments in my heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us to set aside? And then Salamun ala Ibrahim. And then Ishaq himself. And then Moses. Salamun ala Musa wa Harun. And then this salam. Remember we said Salamun qawli min Rabb Rahim in Surah Yasin. Now it's Salamun ala Musa wa Harun. Allah's this beautiful greeting, this beautiful peace, this beautiful safety falling down upon all these people struggling and striving for Allah. Then we have Salamun ala Ilyasin. So again and again. So I think we should take from this a lesson that if you work for Allah, if your life, and all you have to do to work for Allah is make your intention in the things that you're doing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring you salam. And salam is an inner state. It's a safety state. It's a, who knows what it really is. It's something great from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it is an inner state. It is a way of being. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim is something, is a gift from our Lord. And in our striving to follow all of these prophets, with our prophet, of course, as the final example, we are setting ourselves up to be of the people of salam. Yeah, we make us of the people of salam. You have trouble, all this pain, but إِلَّا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ مُخْلَصِينَ. You know, the world is full of trouble. It's just full of trouble. And if we focus on the trouble, well, that means we're focusing on the dunya. When we focus on Allah, we can become of Allah's servants, ibadallah, those who belong to Him, mukhlasin, that are sincere. And if we are sincere, then we don't have to worry about all the yucky stuff. We can stay focused on dunya wa akhirah, inshallah, on that which gives us actual peace and actually fixes our life so that it is a life that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The surah finishes in verse 180. They're short verses, so it's just at the bottom of the page if you're following along with me. With 180 is سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Glory be to thy Lord, the Lord of might, above that which they ascribe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing here, it doesn't matter, the whole world, everyone can mock your belief. They can mock you. They can make fun of you. They can roll their eyes at you. They can make you feel small. But it doesn't matter, because Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzati Amma Yasifun. Glory be to Allah, who is your Lord, the Lord of all things, the Lord of greatness, above all that they say. There's no need to feel any sense of smallness. Quite the opposite. In front of people who mock faith, you should feel strong. Don't feel small. Feel strong. Say La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar is about being able to stand in a room where the people are mocking faith and you are not made smaller in the least. You are a person who is made who you are by faith. Literally. وَسَلَامٌ عَلَى الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And this salam, it goes to the message bearers. Now there are two message bearers. categories of. We have the message bearers that Allah sent. Those are individuals and unique. And we have the message bearers of the messengers. That's me and you. We want to be the message bearers of the messengers. Salamun ala al-mursaleen. Ya Allah, make us of the mursaleen, of the prophets. Let's take the Prophet ﷺ's message and live it. I'm not telling you to go on some street corner with brochures, guys. That's not my way. But let's live this faith. Let's walk in the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ. Let's read this Quran and be like, yeah. The surah finishes with Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. What is that? That's positive living right there. To really go deep into positive living. Be positive. Say Alhamdulillah of all things. Don't sit in your problems. Allah has given us a whole surah, one problem after the other, with these prophets and what they're dealing with and how the people that gave them a hard time are punished. Khalas. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Sit with the good. Sit with the good that Allah has given you. Yalla, Surah Al-Sad. Surah Al-Sad, the letter Sad. Surah Al-Sad. Now here, the first letter, and then Allah swears by the Quran itself. وَالْقُرْآنِ ذِي الذِّكْر. Translated as by the Quran, possessed of remembrance. I'm not so excited about that translation, but the Quran that is full of this concept of dhikr. You want to be a person of dhikr? Read the Quran. You want to be a dhakirat, those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot? Read the Quran. Recite the Quran. Make the Quran in your heart. That Quran will help you deal with those who are in the mockers, the difficult. Because again, we continue this, the theme is still here. بل الذين كفروا في عزة وشقاق كم أهلكنا من قبلهم من قرن فنادوا ولات حين مناص. Nay, but those who disbelieve are in vain glory and schism. How many a generation before them have we destroyed, and they called out when the time for escape had passed. Oh, don't be late. Don't be late to call out to Allah. Don't be late. We have just a few days left of Ramadan. If you have spent the whole Ramadan just far away, let these last days bring you close. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until it is too late. And of course, the Quran is again and again reminding us not only that we have access, but that this is a story that has never ended from the beginning of time till now. In this surah, Allah tells us about Dawood and his judgment, what he did. And then if you go to verse 17, oops, I went too far. اصبر على ما يقولون واذكر عبدنا داود. So Allah is reminding us of Dawood. Bear patiently that which they say, says the Prophet ﷺ. Because the Prophet was dealing with it all the time. You think you're having a hard time? Think about what the Prophet ﷺ was dealing with. And remember our servant David, possessed of might. إنه أواب. There was a time when I lived in Syria, that a very short time, when all the boys that were born were naming their moms and dads were naming them Awwab. And that's from the Quran, to be an oft returning person to Allah. Ameen. We have a sujood in this surah. The sujood is verse 24. And it is a sujood that comes in the midst of a story. A lot of the sajoods in the Quran come as an order, but here it's interesting. It comes in the middle of a story. Verse 23, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about Dawood and what's happening. And then in verse 24, he says, it's longer in Arabic, قَالَ قَدْ ظَلَمَكَ بِسُؤَالِ نَعَجَّتِكَ إِلَى نِعَاجِهِ. I'll just do it in English. He said, he has indeed wronged you in asking that your you be added to his you. Like it's a whole legal decision. And truly many associates transgress against one another, save those who believe in firm righteous deeds, yet how few are they? And David understood that we had tried him. Oh, Ya Allah. وَظَنَّ دَاوُودَ أَنَّمَا فَتَنَّاهُ فَاسْتَغْفَرَ رَبُّهُ وَخَرَّ راكعا وأناب. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. When you have a problem, do you recognize that maybe this is a trial from Allah? It's hard to. Sometimes we want to blame the other people for making it hard for us. But now, Dawood in this story, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens a window to Dawood dealing with this question that people came to about how many sheep and whose sheep belong to who. And then realizing, wait, this was a test. This was a test. Now, when you realize something is a test, your response should be as Dawood. To throw yourself into sujood, ruku' and sujood, and forgiveness. When you see yourself in a test, don't say to yourself, oh, it's someone else's fault. When you are a person who every time something hard happens to you, you're looking around for all the people that's their fault, you're not growing. Be like Dawood, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us about him in the Quran. In the midst of a trial, recognize, oh, wait, this is for me. What are you meant to learn from this? I know we're all making dua this month. We have lists of duas, right? Some of you are making dua for a husband. Some of you are making dua for kids. Some of you are making dua for the actual kids you already have. Some of you maybe have children who are addicts. Some of you maybe have children who are far away. Some of you have parents that you're making dua for. All of this. But let's take a minute and ask Allah. Ya Allah, how is this a trial for me? How is not being married a trial for me? And then you turn to Allah and forgive. And that's a theoretical question. I am married, just FYI, everybody. But you turn to Allah in seeking forgiveness and bow down and ruku' and sujood to Allah. See, what should I learn? Because if you're not going to learn, what happens then? Just waiting for Allah to fix it? No, get to work. Maybe you have a child who is addicted to something. We have in Minnesota a very, very terrible opioid problem in our Muslim community. And there are good organizations working to help people out of that. But if you have a child in that situation, that's very painful. So what do you do before you ask Allah, Ya Allah, fix them, guide them, bring them back? You say, Ya Allah, astaghfirullah. Ya Allah, be forgiven. What am I meant to learn here? Before you go to fix, figure out what you need to learn and throw yourself into sujood and ruku'. Now, Dawood, when he realized that, فَغَفَرْنَا لَهُ ذَلِكَ, so Allah forgave him. And then, in the next verse, يَا دَاوُد إِنَّا جَعَلْنَاكَ خَلِيفَةً فِي الْأَرْضِ. And then Dawood was made a leader on the earth. So perhaps your breakthrough will come when you make tawbah. Perhaps your breakthrough will come when you make a deep and real and big and actual authentic tawbah that is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have, let's see, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 days, 6 days left. Let's make that big and real tawbah. All right, let's continue. Well, let's jump to the end of the surah. 86, 87, 88. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before we go earlier, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَأَمْلَأَنَّ جَهَنَّمَ مِنْكَ وَمِمَّنْ تَبِعَكَ مِنْهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. It's very scary. Allah is talking about the ones who are following shaitan. He will fill hellfire with them, the shaitan, and those who follow shaitan. These last 10 days are meant to be عتق من النار, safety, release. We have to, عتق is a really interesting word. It means to be, the opposite of عتق من النار is to be chained to something. The opposite is, so like you're chained to hellfire. And we're asking these last 10 days, Ya Allah, free us. عتقاء, naked of the ones who are freed from hellfire. So you imagine that you're chained because of your deeds to hellfire, because of following shaitan, because of learning from shaitan. And we're going to be sent. God, Ya Latif, we seek refuge in you, Ya Allah. But these days are for release, for the chains to be released. And then Allah says, قُلْ مَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ أَجْرٍ وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُتَكَلِّفِينَ. The Prophet ﷺ should say, I don't ask of you any reward, nor am I among the pretenders. إِنَّهُ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. It is a reminder for the worlds. وَلَتَعْلَمُنَّ نَبَأَهُ بَعْدَ حِينٍ. Sometimes, as a Muslim, it can feel, if you live in the Western world, it's Ramadan, you're fasting, everyone at work is eating. In December you got Christmas everywhere, and in Ramadan, nobody even recognizes it's Christmas. And if on top of that you're hearing mocking words, oh my God, I could never do that. You're fasting all day. Not even water. Ha ha ha. Not even coffee. Ha ha ha. I could never do that. All of that becomes really tiring. Exhausting, actually. And here we have, but you are not, of course, we're not comparing ourselves to the role of the Prophet ﷺ, but still, as the Quran is a message for all of us in its multi-layered approach, we're not here asking for people to applaud us for being good Muslims. Not people. It's okay. Let them make fun of us. It's more reward. My granddaughter told me that something about people eating in front of her at school. And she said, but Baba told me that the angels are all around me then, protecting me, right? So she was excited about those angels. We don't need people to say, good job. We need Allah to be pleased with us. And this Quran, this Prophet, Allahumma salli wa barak alayhi, is but a reminder, dhikrun lil alameen. A reminder for everyone, including you and me. And even if they don't recognize its reality right now, they will. بعد حين, after a while. So, these words in the Quran, these are strong words. And really, they're addressing the people who are probably not here watching this Instagram, because you guys are here. You are celebrating Ramadan. You are living in Ramadan. You're fasting. You're praying. You're doing the things you got to do. Doing the best you can. Maybe some of you are struggling. But we mention them. I mention them, and I think about them, and we think about these difficult punishments, because sometimes that's what we need to push ourselves. Or maybe it's what we need to put that steel in your spine and remember that your gift from Allah, that you are a believer, is the greatest thing. Don't squander it. Don't risk it. Don't risk it. Don't risk it. And then the next one, Surah Al-Zumar, also about the Quran. تنزيل الكتاب من الله العزيز الحكيم. Indeed, the revelation of the book from God, the mighty, the wise. إنا أنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق فاعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. We have sent down upon thee a book in truth, so worship God, devoting your religion entirely to Him. So now we're like, yeah, okay, we're ready, here we go. ألا لله دين الخالص والذين اتخذوا من دونه أولياء ما نعبدهم إلا ليقربونا إلى الله زلفى إن الله يحكم بينهم فيما هم فيه يختلفون إن الله لا يهدي من هو كاذب كفار. Behold, I like that word. Unto God belongs the pure religion. And those who take protectors other than God, don't take a protector from other than God. Allah's protecting you. They say, oh, we don't worship them, but they only bring us closer to God. This is what people say when they're worshiping idols, when they're worshiping Jesus, when they're worshiping whoever. No. Truly God will judge between them regarding what they differ. Truly God does not guide one who is a disbelieving liar. Look, this world is so full of lies right now. It's bizarre. Like, I don't even know where to begin with the lies on every side in this world. Don't be of the liars. Be of the truth tellers. Be of the ones who tell the truth, at the least to yourself. Ask yourself, do I worship you, Ya Allah, la ilaha illa anta, and only you, or am I attached to other things? Am I devoted to you, Ya Allah? Huwa Allahu al-Wahid al-Qahhar. Verse 4. He is the one, the paramount, the one, the great, the one. Hold on to Allah through all of the messes of the world. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of you and hold on to you. All right, guys. Don't lose steam. Do not lose steam, okay? We just have a few days left. Don't do it. Don't say, oh, I can't wait till Ramadan's over. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't say it. Say, Ya Rabbi, let me benefit from every last minute of Ramadan. Accept my dua. Accept, Ya Allah, my intention. Ya Allah, make me strong. And let's be like Dawood and understand if we need to focus and think about a trial that we're in and make istighfar and make sujood and then make dua and ask Allah to solve our problems. All right, guys, we're 68% of the way to our 10,000 match. Get on over there and help us reach that match on this day. If you like this content and you come on here every day, remember, I am an executive director of an organization called Rabata. And I'm working really hard to bring that to all of you. So jump on over to rabata.info/match4 and help us reach the $10,000. Okay, let's go. Let's get over there and let's reach it. And may Allah bless you in these last 10 days. Let your donations count in these last 10 days. Use them as part of your tawbah. Yallah. I'm excited to see when it's 100%. Okay? Yallah, see you later. See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.